Right, welcome back. And this is Good Morning Nigeria on the network service of the NTA. Well, newspaper review is set. We'll get that after this short break.
Newspaper reviewer Chukudi Abuja is seated here in the studio with us this morning. A beautiful morning to you. Chukudi.
Good morning. I hope I look as crisp as a new penny.
You do.
You look bright.
Yeah, you look bright.
Bright as the sun.
Yeah. The day is bright. Oh my God.
Chukudi, good morning.
Morning,
we have some papers this morning, and I think Victor will begin.
You want me to begin?
Yeah, you have two.
Okay. All right, let's begin with the Daily Trust. And the major headline here reads, Budget backs Ningi as opposition knocks Senate. With the three riders, we stand by our Senator, Bauchi Governor. PDP asks Akpabio to step aside. Ningi's suspension attack on freedom of expression. That's according to CISLAC. And that story, if you want more on it, is on page 4. Now, just above that and below the nameplate, FG asks Binance to provide 6-month transaction data of top 100 users. That's on page 19. And then Israel uses starvation as war arm. That's according to EU, and it's on page 25. AGF finance commissioners flayed over London workshop amidst forex scarcity. That's on page 19. And then at the bottom of the front page of the Daily Trust, Nigeria reopens land air borders with Niger. Just below that, to complete it, Ramadan Hizbah arrests 12 adults for not fasting. Page 16. Ayedatiwa's endorsement turns Ondo lawmakers against Speaker. Page 10. And finally, on the front page of the Daily Trust, Plateau attack. Another 13 cows shot dead. 6 wounded in Barkin-Ladi. Interesting stories there. We move over to the leadership. And then the major headline on the leadership reads, Student loan scheme concerns over disbursement modalities stall takeoff. And then several, a diagram there trying to show how this disbursement is. And then above that, just a little headline, we won't pay ransom for kidnapped victims. And that's according to President Tinubu on page 7. And then budget pardon allegation, budget backs Ningi. We read that earlier in the Daily Trust. That's on page 25. Hasten better Edu's probe, reps urge federal government. That's on page 18. Customs release 15 truckloads of seized grains to owners. That's on page 18. Reps summon Dangote, or Dangote, Jumai would say.
Dangote.
Bua orders over cement price hike. And then finally, suspected Taraba vigilantes kill 7 passengers. That's on page 6.
You know, this cement hike is sort of confusing. They say it's going down, and after some time it's going up again.
I think up is the new down.
Yeah, I think up is the new down. Let's quickly go to the Vanguard newspaper, and I begin with the stories above the masthead. CBN resumes agric funding with 100 billion naira. Find the details on page 19. Ike Imokode returns to Access as Holdco chairman. Find details on page 27. Edo 2024, Shuaibu Ohezwa challenge Ihodolo's candidacy in court, with riders' anxiety in APC as court sits over candidates. Meeting over Ogbede Ihama deadlocked. You find all the details on page 7. And the headlines in the Vanguard newspaper: more controversies over 3.7 trillion naira gap in 2024 budget. With riders, Ningi was right. No detailed project allocations for 3.7 trillion budget. Senate already having some credibility problems. That's coming from the minority leader. Bauchi governor declares support for Ningi over Senate suspension. Come clean, clear all allegations, Obi tells Senate. Ningi suspension, attack on freedom of expression, opposition's rights, Sislak and TI. And just by the picture story, Nigeria lifts sanctions on Niger, opens land border, air borders. Details on page 2. Fresh abduction sign that impunity reigns. That's coming from Amnesty International. Find the details on page 6. Kidnapping, no ransom payment to criminal elements. This is attributed to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. You find out the details on page 9. And at the bottom plate of the Vanguard newspaper, on page 16, Olufasan, the Onosaya report is too peripheral in the face of Nigeria's deep-seated structural challenges and the much-hyped plan to implement. They say it is a distraction. Find all the details on page 16. African Games Athletics, Brume Amusan, good as gold. We hope so, and rekindle hope of more medals. We're hoping for that. Also, you find the details in the sports section on page 31. Mieti Allah members storm Abuja court, demand leaders release. Details on page 13. Rivers Police recover remains of DPO Agbashim 6 months after. Find the details on page 6. That's about what we have in the Vanguard newspaper. Chukudi, let's hear your thoughts on the many headlines.
The president says no ransom to be paid to kidnappers, terrorists, whatever they call themselves. And that should be the stance of the nation's first security officer. Anytime you give the impression you are succumbing to the tantrums of these wayward people, you're creating a bad precedent.
And they get energized.
They get energized and they seek more because
no negotiation with terrorists.
It's lucrative.
It becomes profitable.
It's a business.
It's a big business.
It's a business.
Actually, let's not speculate, but if the Nigerian security architecture gets to reveal the kind of people involved in the chain of it's going to leave mouth again.
Yes,
it's a big industry.
They don't have to reveal. They just have to clean up.
Clean up.
They just have to clean up.
Yes.
Let the heads begin to roll.
Yes.
So that we know that they are
big
working.
Heads hardly roll in Nigeria. I don't know what that discretion is supposed to serve.
There's always a first time.
Yeah. Okay. Let them start. But the point is, the president's stance is what his stance should be.
Yes.
But then, because lives are involved, when government does need to, let's not negotiate, take their size down a bit and say, well, in order to save 20 people, we may look away. Let them go ahead and do that. They don't have to tell us. Government doesn't tell you all the things that happen.
You don't reveal.
Yes, that's part of managing the nation.
Yes.
So the president's stance is quite understandable. Then one of that things the president did is ordering the opening of Nigeria's land and air borders with Niger. If it's a way of calling in these recalcitrant people and ensuring that the ECOWAS protocols that stand to be, threatened by the suspension and all that are indeed, rehabilitated properly, because we need to still move as one.
Yeah, exactly.
There are certain grants from abroad that can only happen when we're treated as a collective. They try to explain that the other time, but coup making should somehow still be discouraged. on the African continent.
That's our topic for discussion today.
I don't see how those
I
work
keep on
together.
talking into your topic.
Yeah, that's what we're going to discuss today.
I don't see how both work together.
Because, even when I'm now thinking from my kitchen, journalists are still journalists, you know.
Let's look at the Edo election.
Edo election.
Still a lot of, hype about it.
What beats me hollow is all the shenanigans.
Yes.
This is a journalist thought,
yes.
On the matter, all the shenanigans that accompanied all that. The Shoaibu angle, they do their primary, this person says I was the one who... When are we going to grow out of it? And eventually they go to the polls. And you begin to hear stories about how money is changed hands, people are trying to... And again, I recall my interview with Chief Gani for him of blessed memory. He says, when you spend money on voters, it's illegal money chasing illegal votes and producing illegal results. Chief Gani for him. May God rest his soul.
Yeah, we miss him.
We are asking now whether foreign assistance to combat kidnapping should be... and I say, why not? In the twilight of the Jonathan administration, remember that some expatriate people, I think boots on the ground actually came in. It was not just...
Yes, no, it was not just...
Yeah. And you saw the effect. The point is this. There are certain things we must hold dear as a nation. You don't allow outsiders peep into those areas. But for crying out loud, when you do need help,
you ask for it.
Ask for it. There's no shame.
Remember,
there's no shame in asking for help.
That the U.S. had to come in here to rescue its citizens.
Oh yes,
at some point on the fringes of between Nigeria and Niger border, quietly rescued them and just left.
No, the Americans are very good at that. It's not just technology, love of country.
There's a movie on Netflix. They say Designated Survivor. I've been watching that series, and I begin to understand how the Americans run their government.
No, there's a way they think.
There's a way they think.
There's a way they think.
Yes,
and that is because they have institutionalized government and governance. There are certain things you can't do in the United States and get away with it.
You can't.
Not because you're a good Muslim or a good Christian or an atheist. They don't give you a choice for how you think to impinge on the process.
The interest of America, it's paramount.
That's the point.
You must respect the interest of America.
The African continent to aspire to.
Yes.
Where what Victor wants doesn't become the headache of NTA. You understand? There are institutions that cannot permit you to do certain things. That's why you have the kind of institution you have today. You understand? Then 10 states paying wage award from the survey of the Nation newspaper. Ogun State gives students 50,000 and 10,000. This is good news. I've always said that in the midst of the hardship, the kind of actions that come from government will help the people persevere, endure into El Dorado.
Exactly.
You understand? So let us keep moving that way. Let us keep talking to the people, because prices, I told somebody, money somebody gave me to keep, I find out that I'm dipping my hand into because I am now spending beyond my income.
Yes.
You understand? It's a big risk.
It's a big risk.
But one good thing happening, which we have not mentioned, is these online money, agents. Let's not name them so we don't, What they are doing now is that Anna Karasela can steadily, in her business, get a 50,000 naira loan from them, build a business. If you repay the loan, they qualify you for 150. That is how you grow.
Even the banks are coming out with this.
The banks have been forced because
these guys are going to run them out of business.
Of course, yes. So it's a good thing, that this is happening. It is a very good thing.
Yeah.
Then we in Nigeria, anything religion, we run away from it. And I tell journalists, there's nothing you can't talk about in Nigeria if you talk responsibly. When I see some young announcers trying to do all they do on the air, I say, have you got the maximum information from the resource person so that the viewer would say that you have really given them a good time? Or are you there to grandstand? I've dealt with this politician. No. That's not what your job is all about.
He is there to give information.
Yes. But going to what made me say this, Hisbah arrests 12 adults for not fasting. They later released them and said, please obey the tenets. a particular tenet of Islam. For crying out loud, if you're not able to fast, don't go out in public
and eat.
Don't do that. You're hurting sensibilities. That is where Nigerians have a problem. They should know where to stop concerning what the other man believes in. It's very important. I particularly picked it because it's important to me that we begin to talk into the heads of Nigerian people, because many of us are reckless troublemakers. We do not respect the religious beliefs of some people. It doesn't matter what the faith is. You have to know where to stop. So I'm very happy they arrested them, released them, but said, please obey our ordinances in the religion and all that. It's very important. Very, very important.
All right. And then student loan scheme.
Suspended indefinitely, they say.
What I would say is, government, no two draw catapult, bed come fly come out. Let us go into implementation as soon as we can, because these students, their appetites are whetted.
Yes.
For crying out loud.
They've been calling, they've been asking questions since yesterday, since the suspension. I say, what happened? You people said on your TV that,
when Asiwaju opened with it, I didn't think he was playing politics. I've always said the president doesn't like seeing people suffer.
I saw
a lot of him in Lagos when I worked for NTA and all that, Good. So I like that attitude that shows I appreciate what sacrifice you're doing. Let them continue. Nigerians are going to go all the whole hog.
Yeah, I think he wants to get it right, and he listens to comments of Nigerians. I think he has people who go on the social media, especially Twitter.
Yeah.
Twitter can hit you hard, and then I think he has been reading up, listening to people talk about maybe some issues in the student loan, and I think he wants to get it right.
And he reserves his punch for last if it must come at all.
Exactly.
That's what I like about him.
And this is what I like about you, because you just stay a short time and you
go.
He's about to kick me out politely.
Thank you very much. You've done noble.
Thank
we'll
you.
see you again tomorrow.
You excite me anytime I come on here.
Just walk away. Thank you
so much.
All right.
Thank you.
Good morning. Nigeria continues after the break.